Hello, everyone. Welcome to Celsius 233, your go-to place for fiction book summaries. Today, we will get lost in the pages of The Man by Bram Stoker. The Man is a Gothic romance novel written by Bram Stoker, published in 1905. Known primarily for Dracula, Stoker explores a different genre in The Man, blending elements of romance, Gothic horror, and melodrama. The novel delves into complex gender dynamics, ambition, love, and societal expectations. It follows the life of Stephen Norman, an unconventional female protagonist with traits typically attributed to men of her time. The story is set against the backdrop of English country life, filled with dramatic twists, intense emotions, and deeply personal struggles. Plot summary. In the heart of the English countryside, at the grand estate of Normanstand, Stephen Norman was born into a world where her very existence was a contradiction. Her father, Squire Stephen Norman, had longed for a son, a strong heir to carry on the family name. Instead, his wife died giving birth to a daughter. Still, the squire vowed to raise her as the son he had envisioned, naming her Stephen, a name steeped in family tradition, and grooming her as his heir. From an early age, Stephen was not like other girls. She was willful, independent, and strong, with a sharp mind and a rebellious heart. Her upbringing was a blend of masculine strength and feminine grace, and her father's deep love shaped her into a unique force in the Norman family. Despite her father's influence, Stephen's life was far from straightforward. The shadow of her mother's death loomed over her childhood, and the expectations of society clashed with her father's ambitions for her. She grew up alongside Harold and Wolfe, the son of her father's close friend. Harold, older and athletic, became her protector and mentor, their bond one of deep affection and mutual admiration. But even as Stephen admired Harold's strength, she resisted the idea of being overshadowed by any man. She took pride in her independence and her role as the heir to Normanstand. As the years passed, Stephen's beauty blossomed, and with it came the attention of others. Among them was Leonard Everard, a wealthy young man with a bold nature but lacking Harold's moral fortitude. Leonard was drawn to Stephen's fiery spirit and tried to win her favor, though he often found himself in situations where his courage faltered. His admiration for her soon turned into something darker, setting the stage for a conflict that would challenge Stephen's strength. The turning point came when Stephen, now a young woman, ventured into the crypt beneath the Norman family church. The crypt was a place of both reverence and dread, where the remains of the Norman family rested, including her mother, Margaret. Against Harold's warnings, Stephen's curiosity and desire to confront her family's legacy led her to the dark and dusty vault. She entered with Leonard, whose bravado quickly faded in the shadowy depths. Stephen, unafraid, reached out to brush away the dust from one of the tombs. It was her mother. The realization hit her like a physical blow. Her mother had died so young, only twice her current age. The weight of mortality and her family's expectations came crashing down on her. She fainted. It was Harold who found her, unconscious and vulnerable in the crypt. His swift actions saved her, but in that moment, the dynamic between them began to shift. Stephen's fierce independence was tested, and she realized that even she could not always face life's burdens alone. Harold carried her from the crypt, the protector once again, but this time something deeper had changed. Stephen's heart, though proud, recognized the love and loyalty that Harold had always shown her. As Stephen recovered from the ordeal, her relationship with Harold deepened. There was a growing understanding between them, a bond that transcended mere companionship. Yet, Stephen's pride and sense of duty kept her from fully surrendering to her emotions. She had inherited not only Normanstand, but the burden of upholding her family's legacy. Love, though powerful, was not something she could easily embrace, especially when it threatened to undermine her carefully constructed identity. Harold, too, faced his own internal struggles. He had always admired Stephen's strength, but as his feelings for her grew, he realized that winning her love would not be simple. Stephen was not a woman to be tamed or conquered, and Harold knew that he would have to accept her on her own terms. His respect for her only deepened his resolve, and he waited patiently, always at her side, ready to support her in whatever way she needed. But Leonard, emboldened by jealousy and a bruised ego, could not accept his defeat so gracefully. He saw Harold as his rival and Stephen as a prize to be won. His actions became increasingly reckless, culminating in a moment of confrontation. Leonard, desperate to prove himself, challenged Harold in a fit of anger. The confrontation revealed the depths of Leonard's cowardice, and in contrast, Harold's calm strength shone brighter. Stephen, watching from the sidelines, saw clearly for the first time the differences between the two men. It was not just strength or bravery that set Harold apart, but his unwavering loyalty, his quiet assurance, and his love for her that asked for nothing in return. In the aftermath of Leonard's disgrace, Stephen was left to confront her own feelings. She had spent so long guarding her independence, fearing that love would somehow diminish her, that she had not allowed herself to fully see Harold for who he was. He was not a threat to her autonomy, but a partner who respected her strength and shared her burdens. Slowly, Stephen's defenses began to lower, and she allowed herself to imagine a future not as the solitary heir of Normanstand, but as a woman who could love and be loved without losing herself. As Stephen and Harold's bond grew, they became inseparable. Together, they walked the lands of Normanstand, not as master and servant, but as equals. The estate, which had once felt like a burden to Stephen, now seemed like a place of promise, a future where she and Harold could build something lasting together. In Harold, Stephen found a man who understood her need for independence, but who also offered her a love that strengthened, rather than weakened, her resolve. Their partnership became a symbol of balance, strength in unity, love in equality. Though the shadows of the past lingered, Stephen Norman emerged stronger, having faced her fears and embraced her future. In Harold, she found not only a protector but an equal, and in her role as the mistress of Normanstand, she forged a new path, one defined not by the expectations of others, but by her own desires and choices. That's it for now, but don't stop here. Bram Stoker has more stories waiting for you. Check them out in the description or on Celsius 233. Remember, while our summaries capture the essence, they can never replace the full experience of reading the book. If this summary intrigued you, consider diving into the complete story, buy the book, and immerse yourself in Bram Stoker's original work. Bye-bye, take care, have fun.